Are ghosts real? Quote by Thomas Whitaker, a clergyman describing Middleham Castle in 1823. Norman masonry, firm and massy, could almost outdo nature and defy man. Hello and welcome to part 2 from Middleham Castle. I really hope that you enjoyed part 1. Please don't forget, if you did, to like for me and leave me a comment because it helps out the algorithm. And also don't forget to do that on this one as well if you also enjoy it. If you didn't enjoy it though, that is fine. This is just my passion and I know it's not everyone else's passion, so I completely get that. But thank you so much anyway for tuning into that one and tuning into this one and tuning into any of my videos, really. I really appreciate that. So obviously we have gone sorry, I'm losing my voice. Obviously, we have done part 1 where I was in the chapel, and I don't know whether you guys spotted it, but there was something moved across in front of my camera in the chapel. If anyone has noticed it, if you could timestamp it, that would be fantastic so people can see. What was I going to say? Oh, yes, that's what I was going to say. So this one is even more interesting. There's a lot of things that I caught that I didn't even realize that I caught at the time. And to be honest, I'm glad I didn't, because I would have probably broken down on camera. I probably would have been a blubbering mess. Sorry if you heard that ping, that was my camera. No, it was my laptop. But anyway, I'm going to leave you now before I keep ranting on for ages. So, I will do a little bit of the history of Middleham Castle in this one. I will also do a little bit of history about Anne Neville, because again, she is an amazing not character, she was real, but she was an amazing woman, and I think history has lost her somewhat. And obviously I don't know whether or not there was love between them, but I certainly think that, well, after this anyway, you'll see why I think she's still there. Anyway, as I said, enough of me going on and on. Let's get into the video, and I hope that you enjoy it. So this is just a brief history of Middleham Castle, because the castle itself has so much history from the time of 1066. There has been a castle on the site, which was initially a Norman motte and bailey castle, which was then replaced by the stone structure in the 12th century. The powerful Neville family, though, is what you see today in terms of the most of it. Obviously, some of it has disappeared. It used to be a lot bigger than it is now. But that central keep there with the great hall and everything was the power behind the throne. It was the powerful Neville family that enhanced the castle in the 15th century, transforming it from a castle of protection to a castle of grand residence. So before that, it's there's also Roman artifacts that have been found nearby, with Roman villas nearby as well. So there's a lot there. But the early history of it was built potentially back in the 11th century. Not potentially, it was built in the 11th century by Alan, Lord of Richmond. Then the stone castle with its impressive keep was started to be constructed in the 12th century by Robert Fitzrolf. And then in the 13th century, the Nevilles appeared, and the Middleham castle passed into that family, and they held it for around 200 years and made it the major power centre of the north. And then, of course, it had the association of Richard III, who spent his youth at Middleham, particularly during his time under the care of Richard Neville, the Earl of Warwick. This is where he met, of course, Anne Neville and also Francis Lovell and other wards. And their son Edward was then born at this very castle in the tower, which you shall see in the video, where I got my most amazing EVP I think I've ever caught. And then royal ownership, it was after obviously the death of the Earl of Warwick. The castle was then granted to Richard, Duke of Gloucester, by his brother Edward, who was currently on the throne at the time, because obviously as well Anne, he had married Anne, so again that was a part of her estates too. And Richard made Middleham one of his royal residences. We don't think particularly he did too much to the castle in the time that he was on the throne, because it was already at its peak, it was already livable. In fact, it had already just undergone a whole load of renovations, before he'd even step foot through it as a king. So I think it would have been luxury personified by this point. But after Richard III's death, the castle then passed to Henry VII, and eventually fell into disrepair. It was then later sold by James I and eventually came under the state in 1925. And today it is managed by the English Heritage and is now a popular tourist site to go to because of its association with Richard III and because of the well-preserved Norman Keep, which is one of the largest in the UK. And to be fair, it's very, very impressive. So that's a brief history of that. Now I'll go on to a brief history of Anne Neville. If you do not want to hear this, then please do skip this part. It's fine, it's absolutely fine, I don't mind, but I just want to give her the credit where credit is due, and I certainly want to give her a name because I think she 100% deserves it. Because I just think she was an absolutely amazing woman. So you can skip this part if you wish. So Anne Neville, born in 1456, died in 1485, was the younger daughter of Richard Neville, the 16th Earl of Warwick, known at the time as the Kingmaker, and his wife Anne Beauchamp. She lived through a tumultuous period of English history, the Wars of the Roses, and became Queen Consort to Richard III. Her life was marked by strategic marriages, political maneuverings, and personal tragedy, including the loss of her only son. Now, history does tend to overlook her a lot, with its focus mainly on, of course, the Tudor period, and Henry VIII, Elizabeth I, and Henry VII. And then, of course, Richard III and Edward, his brother, who was on the throne before him. And then you've got, in the middle, this this woman, and the more I read about her, the more amazing I think she is. But she was born at Warwick Castle. She was the younger daughter of the powerful Richard Neville, Earl of Warwick, and Anne, and her sister was Isabel Neville, who ended up marrying George Clarence, who was the brother of Edward and Richard. In her first marriage, she was initially married to Edward of Westminster, the Lancastrian Prince of Wales, who was the son of King Henry in 1470. This marriage, though, was just a political alliance arranged by her father, who had switched allegiances to the Lancastrian side away from Edward. She was then a widow when Edward of Westminster was killed in the battle in 1471, which left Anne a widow at the age of only 15 years old. She had, however, met her second husband briefly in Middleham, and they had actually had a feast together. So who knows if love blossomed there, who knows. But her second marriage was, of course, to Richard, Duke of Gloucester, the future Richard III, in 1472. But this also potentially was a political arrangement, initially opposed by Richard's brother, the Duke of Clarence, who actually went and hid. He not locked her away, but he hid Anne as a kitchen servant. Richard came and found out where she was, and ended up seeing her as a kitchen maid, and ended up rescuing her, basically. But again, who knows if that is just a bit of rumour or whether or not. I mean, we know that she was in the clutches of the Duke of Clarence and her sister Isabel, who said that they were looking after her for her fortune, basically. They wanted her fortune because because Anne was worth a lot of money, as well as Isabel, and the Duke of Clarence already had Isabel's share, but he actually also wanted Anne's share as well, which is why Richard came in and married Anne, to stop Duke of Clarence from getting it all. But anyway, she then became the Queen of England after Richard III ascended the throne in 1483. Anne was crowned alongside him, which was the first time a couple had a joint coronation in England in 175 years. It wasn't the first instance of a queen being crowned alongside her husband, because there was a previous joint coronations that occurred, but not for a considerable period of time before Richard and Anne. And this joint coronation was significant because it was a very grand event, but also as well it solidified shared power and their legitimacy as King and Queen of England. Then, unfortunately, Anne's life was marked by personal tragedy, particularly then the death of her son Edward in 1484 in Middleham Castle. The news of his death, it struck them both very, very hard. There was a lot of things to say that, well, I don't think they ever recovered, really. So anyway, she then died. She died at the Palace of Westminster in 1485. We think possibly from tuberculosis. But what's very interesting, it was during an eclipse of the sun, and she was buried in Westminster Abbey. So Anne's life has been depicted by various historical novels, plays, including of course Shakespeare's famous play Richard III, which then portrays her as a grieving widow marrying her husband's killer. But I think there was a lot more to it than that. I think she was an amazing person in her own rights, and I think if you go and read any books about her, then please do, because yeah, I think she was ahead of her time a little bit as well. And what's sad is we don't really know too much about her. We do know from the scrolls that she was a beauteous woman, especially in her younger years, with long blonde hair. We don't know what eye color she had. She was very slender apparently as well. But that is pretty much all we really know. And yeah, I find it quite sad that she's sort of overlooked as much as that she is. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling now. It's been quite some time, and I'm so sorry. You're probably sick of me talking. So let's get into the video, and I will see you guys at the end. And I'm looking forward to your thoughts. Right, so I just put my hair up. Again, for a sign of respect, because obviously I am married, and women would not have their hair down. But I am wearing my shawl off my head because it is really cold now, and I keep losing my voice. Don't know why, but I just do. So yeah, I'm in the kitchens. Can someone tell me what would be made in the kitchen? What sort of food would be prepared here? Is there any servants still here? Would someone be able to make something for me, as I'm a little hungry? I asked out of respect, and obviously I ask only if you're not too busy. I think it just said no. Okay, fine. Fine. How many people are still here? How many people are doing their jobs still here? I think it just said full. Or it called me a fool. I'm pretty used to that right now. Oh dear. Well, thank you, I think. Did you just call me a fool? Hang on. Can you just say what I think you just said again, please? I think it just... Wait. I think it just said my Latin name. So, so basically, right, my name is French. Corinne is the variant of the French word for maiden, which is basically what my name means. But it is actually originally Greek, and the original translation of my name is Kor, which means maiden in Greek. And coincidentally, there was a certain goddess in Greek mythology, and her name was Kor before she ended up in the underworld. Let me know in the comments if you know exactly what I am referring to here. But that is really interesting because I think I just heard, not once, but twice, my name. And that's not the first time I think I've heard this either, because I think I heard it somewhere else. So that's really interesting, because I swear, I just heard my name in the Latin variant. Did someone, if you did say my name, thank you. And I'm sure there was a woman and a man that just said my name as well. Can I please take your names if you said my name? Whoa, there's a lot of crows suddenly. There's loads of them. There must be like a nest or something nearby. There's like loads of them. They're everywhere. But yeah, if you said my name, can you please say it into this device down here for me, so that I can hear your voice? That would be why am I nearly falling over? That would be amazing, because I'm sure I just heard my name. And then could you please also tell me which goddess the name Corinne derived from, if you know it? I'm also going to call out to Francis Lovell, because Francis Lovell was here. I hope you can see the necklace that I'm wearing. It is here. And then also I have the sun in splendor here as well. I am a Yorkist. I've always been a Yorkist. And on this journey, I want to find out more. I want to find out more about Richard III. That's my phone. Or Richard, Duke of Gloucester. The more I learn about you, the more fascinating that I find you are. And I want to share your story. Is there any of the Neville family here? What about... Ooh, what about Warwick? Richard Neville, are you here? My lord? My name is Corinne. Just gonna stop that. I don't know what that was. Something just fell down here. I think it was maybe a feather. I don't know. Right. Well, let's get out of the kitchens. Thank you to anyone working in the kitchens. Oh, I just nearly fell over sideways again. This way. I've forgotten what this is. Can someone help me find my way? I don't know where I am. There's a nice door here though. Ooh. Where? Oh, there's a door. Okay. I am somewhere. I mean, obviously I'm somewhere, but... Oh wow, look at that ceiling there. That's amazing. Oh, jeez. I'm getting so cold. Let's put this. Put it there. So EVP3 in the. I actually don't know where I am again. Where am I? Can someone help me? I keep getting lost. I knew I'd get lost. We are, where are we? So we are in the Prince's Tower. Okay, we're in the Prince's Tower. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, it's cold. I know I keep saying that, but it is. I'm frozen. You can hear the wind. The wind is like whistling through everything. It's quite eerie now. Whew. Can someone hear my voice? Or can you see me? So I'm also carrying a white rose here as well. And the white rose is your symbol. The other really interesting thing about Richard III is that he really liked jewelry. And that was also one of his, I don't know what you call it, like hobby? No, not hobby. But basically he liked jewelry. Brooches, specifically. So that's another reason why I thought I would wear this again, because again, it's a brooch and he liked brooches, so I was gonna say, if Richard is here, I mean, Your Majesty, Your Grace, my brain has gone blank. If you're here, I'm wearing a brooch. Do you like my brooch? It's probably a really stupid question. I just don't really know. That's probably the worst question ever. What about Lady Anne Neville, my lady? Are you here? I'm not sure she'd be in the Prince's Tower, to be honest. I'm not sure she'd be in the Prince's Tower, to be honest. To be honest. I'm just editing. I just thought I would edit. Well, I haven't finished editing. I'm nowhere near finished editing, but I was just listening back to the recordings that I've caught so far, and I just heard, and I don't know if you guys heard it, because by now hopefully I would have edited this. I can't speak. I would have edited this by now. So it's all linked together. But I heard when I was just talking about Anne, and like I asked if she was in the tower, or there, and it says I am. And after that, I'm still trying to fight it. I'm still trying to fight it. After that, I just started feeling really sad, and well, you could kind of see, like, I'm desperately trying not to cry. I'm desperately trying to hold myself together. Because, well, that was just, I don't know, that's just really hit me. That's really hit me, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, like, I don't normally cry. But I had to chronicle that because, and I had to chronicle this reaction because, well, it got me. Like, it really, really got me. And you hear it, like, I am. And they think that's where, and what makes them really sad is they think that there's, where, her son was born, but also, you know, potentially where he died. Well, he did die in the castle, so, you know, that tower there potentially, well, no, would have been, it wouldn't be potentially, I can't get my words out. I'm just trying to hold this all in to be able to talk right now. But the tower, that tower bit there, is where, you know, he would have been, and where, like, a nurse would have cared for him and everything. So the fact that she is still potentially there, and it says I am, in response to me asking that, I don't know, that just really, really got me, and I'm gonna stop now because I'm just gonna cry. I mean, I'm already crying, but I'm just gonna yeah. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's go back to the video. Yeah, but I just had to chronicle this. I had to chronicle it because this, you know, this that really, really got me. Really, really got me. And I didn't hear it in the moment. I never heard I am in the moment. I never heard anything in the moment. But I think if I had heard that in the moment, I would be a crumpling mess like now. So I'm kind of relieved I didn't hear that in the moment, to be honest with you. Anyway, let's keep going. If someone is here and they can see me, could you possibly make a noise for me? A noise that is different to the noise that I'm currently hearing. I'll be silent. By the way, the thing that is in my hand will not harm you or hurt you. I promise. As I said, I mean no disrespect. I mean no harm. I heard a noise then, but I think that might just be the wind. Actually, I think someone's coming. Right, so I've actually decided again to put this in 3 parts. I wasn't going to. I was going to try and do it in 2 parts. But there's quite a lot here. And we're almost at 40 minutes in, and I've got loads more footage, and some of it I've already been through and also had a look at, and I'm like, I don't particularly want to edit that out. And I wanted to chronicle my reactions to things as well, because I think, again, that's really, really important. Because I had such an extreme reaction. I hope you guys can hear the EVP. I tried to make it louder. I also slowed it down, so I'm really hoping you'll be able to hear it. But it got me. Like, it really, 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 really got me. And I just thought it's important for me to actually chronicle that too. So yeah, I'm gonna put this into 3 parts, as I do actually, once those people disappear, I do go back to the Prince's Tower. I also go to the Great Hall, and the actual massive kitchen and the wine cellar. And that's also very interesting, so please stay tuned. And thank you very much for putting up with me for nearly 40 minutes waffling on. So I shall see you guys next time. Have a fantastic week and weekend, whatever you guys get up to. And yeah, I will see you guys very, very soon. Take care for now. And thank you for watching Are Ghosts Real with me, Corinne.